Hey quilters, welcome to AccuQuilt Live. I'm Pam Heller, AccuQuilt's cutting expert. Do you hear it? Do you hear the rain on the roof at AccuQuilt? It is pouring down rain here. So we're glad to be inside. Thanks for joining us today. Hey, so we have somebody new in the Dream Studio today. My good friend Leslie is here. Good morning, Leslie. How are you?
Good. How are you, Pam?
Good. Now, Christina's on PTO, so you're here filling in for her.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
So tell us a little bit about yourself.
So I am the community engagement specialist here. I work with our go-getters who help with our blog, as well as like our ambassadors who work with our product and stuff like that. I do all the retailer events with you, and I'm on YouTube during live streams.
Yeah, so we're glad you're here. Thanks for being here. Now, you kind of hobbled in, yes? We got to see. Look, she came in wounded. Can you see her little boot? She fractured her ankle. She didn't break it.
Yes. I just fractured
with
it.
what tool?
A sledgehammer.
Yeah. Just think about it, quilters. This is why we should sew. Anyway, thanks for being here. We're glad you're here today. All right, where is everybody watching from? Leslie, you said some folks were watching from England. Yeah, we have some people from Netherlands. Oh, there, the rain is slowing down a little bit. We have some people from St. George, Utah. Dara, do you know my sister Betsy? She lives there. How exciting. All right, did you love the projects we had in our intro video? Let's take a look at a couple of those projects. First up, we have this great quilt by Glenda M. And Leslie, what dye did she use?
The orange peel dye.
Our orange peel dye, we just talked about it a couple of weeks ago. And what do you love about this dye, or quilt?
I like that it's not every single square, that she alternated between having the orange peel and then a solid color. Right,
and I love the whole black and white and then the red for the contrast. Good job, Glenda, thanks for sharing. Next, we have this patriarch quilt by Sandra B. Okay, Leslie knows all things because she's been with me and doing retailer events, and she knows all about it. Which dyes did we use, Christina or Leslie?
She used strip dyes and then one of the cubes, the shape 6, and then it looks like flying geese.
Yeah, flying geese, which are 4 and 5. Sandra B, that's beautiful. And last, we have these adorable bibs. We were talking about this yesterday, Leslie, about Madras plaid. I just love it. I think these are so cute. Oh, good job. All right, Yale did those for us. Thanks, Yale. Quilters, if you want a chance to have your projects featured on AccuQuilt Live, you can send us a private message here on Facebook or just post your project to our page. All right, here's my photo of the day. Since we're talking about setting triangles, triangles have 3 sides. Here are 3 of my favorite things. So the picture on the left is actually a Christmas tree that I had made last year for 2020. Those are all the people in our family in 2020. And then next is Halloween fabric. Halloween's coming, Leslie, it's coming for us.
I know, I'm excited.
And then pie, right? Okay, so Leslie, what are your 3 favorite things?
Coffee, ice cream, and my cats.
Yes. How many cats do you have?
We have 2.
2, okay. And coffee and ice cream, we talk about this all the time, about how we talk about food on Wednesday.
Yes.
Do you have a favorite kind of ice cream?
Cookies and cream.
Oh, man. All right, that works. All right, today, the question of the day is, tell us 3 of your favorite things, okay? We're talking about triangles. Things have to come in 3s today. All right, next, today we are talking about all the new Go setting triangles. And I'm so excited. Leslie's super excited to be here. Christina's so sad. We have a special guest. Kaye England is joining me here in just a few minutes, and I'm thrilled to have her back. Yesterday, Kaye joined us as we launched these new setting triangle dies, and she has such amazing insight. For those who watched yesterday's show, we had 2 Go Setting Triangle die bundles. Leslie, what's the status of both of those die bundles?
They are all sold out.
They are all sold out, but individual dies are still available for purchase. So Leslie, why do they want to register to go to our Tuesday events?
Because you get eligible for our giveaways.
You do, and then you get those chance to get those specials that are only on for that day, okay? So make sure you're registering for our Tuesday events. It's Wednesday, so of course we have a great promo for you today. So today, the promo is take 25% off your order, all right? Now, if you spend more than $150, we're gonna take an additional 10% off. So Leslie, if somebody was looking for the Ready, Set, Go today, how much would it be?
It would be, from what Cody tells me, Cody
Cody.
says, it's
Cody says.
304.
304. Isn't that awesome? The code you want to use is LIVE25, L-I-V-E 25. So spend more than $150, we're going to give you an additional 10% off. Now this month's die to try is the Go Basket of Lily's die. And here's the block that it makes right here. It makes a 12-inch finished block, and it's only available through the month of May or while supplies last. So we have a special bundle for you today, the Go Basket of Lily's die, and it makes a 12-inch block and a 2-pack of 10 by 24 mats. It's $130. That's a savings of $55. So that's our special bundle. And so Leslie, what size setting triangles would they throw in there if it makes a 12-inch block?
The 12-inch setting triangle.
Right, so if you're looking to get that die to try and you want to add those setting triangles, get the size 12. Today I'm going to give away one of our new Go Setting Triangles die, and the lucky winner gets to choose what size they want. All you have to do is share this video in your personal Facebook page for a chance to win. Morgan, who is offsite, is going to pick our winner, and at the end of the show, Leslie will announce it. We're excited about that. All right, so let's talk about setting triangles and corner triangles. So behind me is a quilt that is on the pattern when you buy the setting triangles. It's called, oh, Leslie will know.
Crown and stars.
Stars in the Crown. Woo, look at us knowing stuff. Okay, so here I'm just gonna talk about it for just a second. So when we talk about setting triangles, we're talking about these right here on the edge, and then, I don't wanna hit the light, right here. These are the corner setting triangles, okay? So when you turn a block on point, then you have to have setting triangles so everything lays flat, okay? Now, why would you want to set your blocks on point? It gives it a completely different look. So for example, today I have a little pinwheel block. Okay, I made it out of my little 6-inch cube. And now it's just on that horizontal plane, and it's perfectly good, it's lovely, okay? But look what happens when I turn it on point. It gives it a completely different look. So quilters, as you're looking to change the look of your quilt, setting your blocks on point will change that look completely. But every time you do that, you need to have setting triangles. So the question is, why do I need setting triangles? Can't you just take a square and cut it in half and call it good? The answer is no. The reason I know that is because I did that and it didn't work. Let's say, have you ever cut and sewn a block on point?
No.
Never?
Not yet.
But there's dies now, you can do that.
Yes, now that there's die, I've never cut anything by hand, so.
She and Christina live in that beautiful AccuQuilt world. So when did you start quilting? Just a year ago when you and I were in COVID?
Yeah, like probably exactly a year ago.
Yeah.
When we started our events in the summertime.
Yes, we did. We did 2 a day for ever,
Yep.
retailer events. And Leslie learned everything she knows about AccuQuilt from our events.
Yep.
So, okay, so it's all about stability and the straight grain of the fabric. If you use a half square triangle and cut it the normal way, the long side would be on the outside, and that's all stretchy and on the bias. And why is that a problem? Well, it's critical for the stability of your quilt to have that outside edge nice and tight, not stretchy. Otherwise, your quilt top is wonky and you will be sad because you've spent all of that time and energy and money creating blocks, and now your top is wonky. So now you can cut those setting triangles. You could without a die, you could cut them, but listen, you gotta use that 4-letter word of math, which I'm just not gonna do, okay? So, don't forget our promo today. Take 25% off your order, an additional 10% off those orders over $150. Use the code LIVE25. Think quilters, what dies you're gonna get today. Maybe you're gonna get some bob dies or that 12-inch cube. What size setting triangles go with it, okay? All right, join Lynn and Erica and I on Tuesday, May 25th for an amazing trunk show as we focus on bob dies. Be sure and register in the link below. When you register, you're eligible to win prizes and you're eligible to purchase those bundles that go away at midnight, all right? Now, to cut setting triangles, there's complicated equations to calculate the side and the corner triangles. And I don't like to deal with that, and I'm pretty sure neither do you. That's why AccuQuilt has introduced 6 dies to cut the setting and corner triangles. They coordinate with the entire mix and match cube system. That means we have 6 dies in 6 different sizes to match the 6 different sizes of cubes. 4-inch, 6, 8, 9, 10-inch, and 12-inch cubes. Now, those setting triangles will also match up with our bob or block on board dies for infinite design possibilities. And in just 1 minute, we're gonna have Kaye join us, and she's gonna talk about those bob dies, okay? So before I cut our Go Setting Triangles die, let's welcome a special guest to our live event. Kaye has owned quilt shops, written books, created her own fabric line. She's taught a variety of quilt classes, and she especially loves a good quilt on point block. She's our great friend. Kaye, welcome this morning. How are you?
Great. It's so good to be back with you. Gosh, it's only been a day.
I know. Eric and I were talking yesterday that maybe we should just come to Indiana and spend a week with you.
I'll be careful what you wish for. I'd love that.
I know. I think that would be really fun. All right. So, Kaye, let's talk about on-point quilts, because you've made some samples of some things. And do you want to talk about why they're so important, those setting triangles?
Well, you had a great point when you were talking about where a lot of people, and if we look at early quilts, because you know I'm a big fan of 19th century quilts, lots of times we'll see a side set quilt where they actually did put a half square triangle in the corner, which threw the bias on that long edge.
Right.
And in almost every case, those quilts will be 1 inch or 2 inches longer on one side than they are the other. Knowing that they use them as bed quilts, it probably wouldn't be a big deal, but the bulk of our quilts now live on a wall or in some fashion where you can really tell they're out of square.
Right.
And I thought about this after our little event yesterday, and I thought, you know, if you own the dies, you spent the money for the dies, you spent the money for your cutter, and you are doing a precision block, the only way you had to get the other was to then use another method.
Right.
Why wouldn't you just buy into the method that actually cuts the exact size you need?
Right.
So the age-old story is, yes, I did drink the Kool-Aid on this one because I firmly see the value of precision cutting. Then I just have to precision sew, and then I can use my side set triangles, and I get an accurate flat unit, which if I've got the money tied in all the others, I'm telling you, I think, and I told you this from the get-go, this is a brilliant decision and a brilliant move on AccuQuilt's part. And folks, they didn't pay me to say that. I just said that because
I know. We appreciate you saying that. But and you talk about accuracy, but we also talk about speed, right? Because how fast was it to cut all of the setting triangles for one quilt, right?
Yes, yes. It's like one run, and I got one, and I'll show that quilt in a second. I got one cut one time. I just folded the fabric, laid it on it, ran that rascal through one time, and everything I needed was there.
There you go. All right, well, show some samples of what you made. I'm excited to see these.
Well, do you want me to show the bob, the one I did with the bob first?
You show whichever ones you want. We're going to talk about them all. So show the bob one. That'd be great.
Let's show the bob, because this is the one that I'm talking about, that I did the snail's trail.
Yes, and the Go version of it, right? So it made an 8-inch finished block.
Yes, and then what was so neat about this, and I'll hold it where hopefully that's a good picture.
It's great.
Is I cut the entire one run through my machine, did all the sides and the corners for this, and this is 3, 6, 8, 8 or 9, and I can't even remember how many blocks. How many blocks is that, Kaye?
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8.
8.
8 blocks, just like it is on the bob. And I used the 4 color combinations, but what I can tell you, Pam, is in these corners, this is on the nose.
Yes.
Accurate. I mean, this was precise. And let me tell you, I've set a lot of quilts on point, and you don't always get that.
No,
we
I
do
think
a
it's
lot
so
of extra
hard.
floating where we have to retrim afterwards because we don't have that accuracy in the cutting. So that was that little guy. And then let me show this one that I love this.
Okay, this is my new favorite that you made. This is so pretty.
I just whipped this little guy out. I used the 4-inch cube, but I ended up with a 6-inch block. So I had to use the 6-inch side set for that. Again, one run and I'm done. I mean,
Right.
this whole thing, I timed it from the time I cut and finished it. I had 2.5 hours in this entire thing.
That's fabulous. That's
Yep. So
fabulous.
that's that. And then, I'm a big fan of the larger quilts.
Yes.
So this was one where I actually used, I hope you can see that a little
We
bit.
can, it's
I
beautiful.
actually used the 12 in this because by the time I sashed my block, I ended up with this needing to be a 12.
Right.
So one of the things we talked about was how important it is that you understand that the size of your cube is not necessarily the size of your setting triangle, and you guys covered that, I thought, really well yesterday.
Right, and we're going to talk a little bit more about it today. Yeah, about what
great.
size is your block.
And here's another one where I have to see if that's showing pretty well.
Yes.
Can you see that?
We can.
Yeah. Okay, so this was one where it's just squares, but I can create a 4-patch or a 9-patch when I decide on how big I want my setting triangle.
Right.
And I liked a lot. And then I pulled one out of the archives, which was actually a hand quilted. But again, this would be so much easier for me to do now with the setting triangles, to be able to make your block, then sash it. So the cube size would not be how I determined this. It would be the size of this entire block when it was finished.
Right.
That's how it would decide.
Right. Right.
And then I did show this one yesterday, and I want to open this one.
This one is so pretty.
The dramatic, your point about how you take a quilt and set it on point.
Yes.
Look at the difference at this on point as it would have been if this had been set straight. It's still pretty.
It is. It
but
is,
it's
but
not
a whole
near as
different
pretty.
look.
Yeah.
A whole different
and
look.
This one I cut one run through the machine. I got everything I needed.
That's amazing. And you made a really good point about the fact that the size of the setting triangle isn't necessarily the size of the cube, and that maybe the sides are a different size than the corners. And so that's the beauty of owning all the setting triangles, is that they work with all the cubes, and then you can work them together, and it's just an amazing concept.
Because the elements of grids that live within your block could be 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8. So the side set can be a wide variety of elements. So I don't know how they're going to choose, frankly. So the package deal sounds the way to go.
There we go. Well, good. Okay, do you have a favorite bob that you think that you're going to work on next to put it on point? Do you have a bob that you love? Oh, Kaye is frozen. It's raining here. It's okay. All right. Thank you, Kaye. We appreciate her coming back today. She is so amazing, don't you think, Leslie? Okay, so what kind of bob die would you use then to maybe turn your block on point?
I really like the Morning Star, and we have a couple quilts that it is on point, and I just love the look at it. And so this would make it so much easier.
Yeah, I agree. And what size block does it make?
12.
Good job. Good job. All right, before we talk about our die to try and show you how to cut setting triangles, what are people's 3 favorite things?
So Janice says her Frenchie, coffee, and sunshine.
There we go.
Linda says travel, fabric, and ice cream.
Oh, I can hang with Linda.
Kathy is saying sewing, sewing, and more sewing.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
A lot of people are saying quilting and things like that are
And
one
food.
of their favorites. And food. A lot of
M&Ms.
food. Yep.
Right? Okay. All right, quilters, don't forget this month die to try is the Go Basket of Lilies die. It makes a 12-inch finished block, and it's only available at AccuQuilt.com. It's only available through the month of May or while supplies last. Today we have a special bundle for you, the Go Basket of Lilies die, and a 2-pack of 10 by 24 cutting mats. Leslie, what happens when you try to use a die without a mat?
It doesn't work.
Not at all. For $130, that's a savings of $55. And remember, if you're getting that basket of lilies die, what size setting triangles do they want to get?
12-inch.
12-inch, right? Okay, so Kaye talked about this great concept. So right here is the basket of lilies. This, Leslie, what is this pattern called?
Oh,
Do you
my
know?
gosh, I do.
She does. She knows. She's in charge.
Fields of Lily's throw quilt.
There we go. There we go. And Kaye was talking about how sometimes the side triangles are different. So this is that side triangle. And it was actually made with squares and half square triangles. So this is another kind of concept. You can turn things on point. And this works because of the lengthwise grain. So this is such a beautiful, beautiful project, okay? Quilters, do you know that our videos live on our Facebook and YouTube platforms? If you need to go back and watch this, maybe you want to hear what Kaye has to say about setting triangles or any other AccuQuilt Live or live event we did, you can watch it on our YouTube and Facebook platforms. Today I'm going to give away one of our new setting triangles to the one lucky winner. You get to choose which size you want. Which size do you think people are going to choose, Leslie?
It would depend on what size cube they have. I feel like the 8-inch, since that comes with the Ready, Set, Go, and that's so popular.
Yeah, I think so too. I think that would be great. All you have to do is share this video in your personal Facebook page for a chance to win. Morgan from our team is going to pick a winner, and Leslie's going to announce it at the end of our show. All right, so quilters, we're going to cut some stuff because that's what we do on Wednesdays. You'll see that some of our dies are in a 6x24 die board. Like this one is the 6-inch, okay? Some of them are larger. They're on the 10x24 die board. Now remember, all of the setting triangles that are on a 6x24 die will fit through any of our cutters, including that Go Me. The bigger ones for the 9 and 10 and 12-inch setting triangles, I'm looking, could you tell? They're gonna be 10 inches wide. They're only gonna fit through your Go or your Go Big. All 6 of these dies will work with your studio cutter with the appropriate adapter. All right, so look at this. All of the shapes have that 1/4-inch seam allowance, right? So we know what we're doing. And we have specialized dog ears. So from this point here to this point here is that perfect 1/4-inch seam. And we did it here on that corner triangles as well. So these are the sides and these are the corners. You can, when you cut, you want to make sure that that label is at your belly and that lengthwise grain nice and tight across the die board. That lengthwise grain is going to be parallel to these lengthwise blades. Remember, you can always cut 6 layers of quilting cotton in one pass through the cutter, but you can also cut other fabrics, flannel, felt, denim, wool, okay? Start with 1 or 2 of those heavier fabrics. Today I'm gonna use my Go cutter. It's part of our Ready, Set, Go. Leslie, what's the price on our Ready, Set, Go today?
It is $304, and if you get the basket of lilies or any of the setting triangles, it ships free to you.
Oh, look at that. There you go, okay? I love it when things ship free if you live in the contiguous US. I think that's awesome. All right, so it's part of the Ready, Set, Go. So let's talk about all the parts and pieces of our Ready, Set, Go. First of all, it comes with our Go fabric cutter, lightweight portable, weighs about 15 pounds. And it also comes with an 8-inch cube. Remember, our cubes are the basic standard system for our cutting system. It has 8 dies, 72 mix and match patterns. They're geometric shapes. The shapes are the same in every cube. They're just different sizes. We have 6 sizes of cubes, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10, and 12. So the 8-inch is the one we've included here. We've also included a 2.5-inch strip die. Leslie, what do you use a 2.5-inch strip for?
Everything, bindings, sashings, borders, and jelly rolls.
Yep, all of those things. And a 10x24 cutting mat. Our good friend Eleanor Burns wrote this great book called Go Cube. It's a project and pattern, it's a pattern book for projects and quilts using that cube system. And then we've thrown in cute little die pick to help keep your dies clean, okay? So that's our Ready, Set, Go. Listen, just add fabric, okay? All right, so now I'm gonna cut it here on my Go fabric cutter. And you wanna make sure, quilters, you have the appropriate size cutting mat. This is a 6x24 die board. I wanna use a 6x24 mat. Leslie, why don't I wanna use my big 10x24 mat?
Because it'll shimmy as it goes through the cutter.
Yeah. Leslie could teach this. Okay, here we go. All right, Leslie, while I'm cutting, what 3 things do people love?
Alicia said fried dough, her husband, and quilting. Barbara says quilting and good strong coffee.
Oh, there you go.
I agree with that one. Margaret says family food and AccuQuilt.
Oh, there we go. There we go. All right, I'm going to move my cutter because I'm done with it. Look how portable that is. All right. And give it some love. Slide that mat, don't lift. All right. Here we go. It's not a Band-Aid, folk. Oh, you'll be happy to know that Oakley is doing great today. Taylor just sent me a text. All right. So here is the setting triangles. So I just want to show you this because this is important. So look right here. See that tight? That's that nice tight edge. Now look at this. Look at all the stretch on the bias. This is what's going to go on the outside of your quilt. So this edge right here is going to go on the outside of your quilt. And then here's that corner that's going to go in the corner. Okay, so look. Nice and tight. Nice and tight. Lots of stretch. It's that stretch that makes things wonky. Okay, wonky is my word. All right, now the first thing you want to determine when you're figuring out your setting triangles is what size block do you have and what kind of grid is it on, okay? So look at this. I'm going to start here. I would say if you're new to setting triangles, this was a great tip yesterday. Start with like a table runner, okay? So I've taken my 2x2 grid, 2 columns, 2 rows. Turned it on point. These are 6-inch blocks. So what size setting triangles I'm going to use? 6-inch. Okay, so I'm going to lay these here. Let's say I got to sew these, and then we could just have the cutest table runner ever.
That would be super cute.
And look, all you need are setting triangles and 3 blocks. Choose which 3 blocks you want. Okay? All right. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. I need one more over there, but that's okay. All right. Now, so since I'm using that 2x2 grid, it makes a 6-inch block. I'm going to show you how to sew together rows. Because I'm going to say, normally, you know, we sew rows like this, but you don't want to do that. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to come right here and I'm just going to sew this side to this block. I'm going to just show you how to do this. Now, we've cut off the dog ear, so look how that lines up perfectly. And our dies quilters, they're going to cut perfectly the first time and the 1000th time. You're going to get thousands of cuts, okay? And then I'm going to add this little corner one right here. Look at this. Erica's not here, but she'd be proud of us pinning.
Someone said that Erica's pinning is one of their favorites.
Aw, see, there you go, Erica. I just make fun of her about it, but people love it. Okay, here we go. So we made sure our sewing machine works, because last week there was a little kind of disaster with it, but it was all good. All right, let's say why so. Tell us what people love in groups of 3.
Myrna likes her newly remodeled sewing room.
Oh, lucky you.
Her Go Big cutter and all of the dies.
Okay.
Karen likes her grandchildren, her daughters, and sewing and quilting. A lot of it's quilting and their grandkids, and a lot of ice cream. Started a
Quilting
trend.
and ice cream. Listen, we're good.
Jackie says chocolate fabric in Scotland.
Oh, wow. Okay, I like that. Scotland is beautiful.
Dottie says colors, ice cream, and fabrics.
Okay.
I feel like it's a food trend always during.
Always a food trend on Wednesdays, right?
Let's see. Sewing their husband and kids and grandkids is what Tammy says.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
Fabric quilts and cheesecake.
Oh, cheesecake. Who said that?
That was Judy.
That sounds delicious. Ray made, not for us. Our friend, our good little friend Mark over the weekend had some emergency surgery and he's fine. But Ray said, what's your favorite treat? And Mark said, I love cheesecake. So Ray made like this Snickers cheesecake with an Oreo crust. And I had none pieces of it.
I think Ray needs to make some for the AccuQuilt Live team.
I think so. I think so. So now I'm gonna press my little seams. Hey, the shovel iron and our mats, our clover mats are on our website. Get you one. Mason jar not included. Okay, so I'm gonna press towards my setting triangle. Look at this, okay? And then you do the sides first, okay? And then I'm gonna do this one here. And look how it lined up perfectly. Okay, so I'm gonna sew this real quick. All right, and Leslie's gonna tell us more 3 things. I'm loving it. Don't forget to share.
Sue says quilting, baking, and gardening.
Oh, gardening, that's good.
Let's see, a lot
Mike
of...
was gonna go golfing today, but it is raining.
Cynthia says penguins, snowflakes, and travel.
Okay, I love that she loves snowflakes. I love snowflakes. Okay, here we go. Oh, this just makes me so happy. Okay, here we go. So quilters, that's how you sew them together. Remember, you can come back and watch this video. Okay, just sew them together, otherwise you have to make Y seams, and we know how to do that, but why would you do that? Okay, so there we go. All right, so now let's talk about churn dash. Churn dash is one of my favorite blocks. Sometimes we call it monkey wrench. Okay, so do you want me, where do you want this, Joe? Right there? Okay. Okay, so here is churn dash. Now, Leslie, what kind of grid is this?
3 by 3 grid.
3 by 3 grid. So 1, 2, 3 rows, 1, 2, 3 columns. Okay, here it is again. And I made a bigger block. Now this one, I used my 8-inch cube. But Leslie, how big is my block?
12 inches.
12 inches, because this center square finishes to 4 inches. So 4 and 4 and 4 is 12. 4 and 4 and 4 is 12. Now look how cool this is. Okay, it is not Green Lantern, but that's what my kids say it is. Okay, we do have a quilt at AccuQuilt that turns it on point, don't we?
It's like a baby quilt, I think.
Yeah, yeah, so think about that. So if I'm gonna turn my 12-inch churn dash on point, what size setting triangles would I need? 12-inch, that's right, okay? So now, Leslie, what if I made my churn dash from a 6-inch cube? How big is it?
9 inches.
9 inches. So what size setting triangles would I need, Miss Leslie?
The 9-inch.
9-inch, okay? So when Kaye talked about the center block and knowing how big it is before you determine what size setting triangles it is. So don't think, oh, I'm gonna get the 6-inch cube. I have the 6-inch cube. I'm gonna get the 6-inch setting triangles. No, you wanna get the 6 and the 9 and the 12 and so forth, okay? So look how cool that block is on point, okay? Join Lynn and Eric and I on Tuesday, May 25th for an amazing trunk show as we focus on bob dies. Be sure and register in the link below. When you register, you're eligible to win prizes and you're eligible to get those special deals that we sold out of yesterday. Now, the quilters asked me, can you use ghost setting triangles with our bob dies? Can we do that, Miss Leslie?
Of course you can.
Of course you can, okay? So think about that for a minute. Think about some of your bobs. So Leslie, do you have a favorite bob?
I really like the log cabin and morning star.
Yeah, log cabin, morning star.
Yeah.
Log cabin you can make it any size, right?
Yep.
Any from 6 and so on. And then how big is morning star?
12 inches?
12 inches, that's right. Okay, so we're gonna show you some bobs, okay? This one is our 8-inch finished snail's trail. This is the one that Kaye used. Now, I only made it in 2 colors, but Kaye used it in 4 colors. And look how different it looks. See, there's that block. And now we've turned it on point. Look how pretty that is. All right? All right, this one is what, Miss Leslie?
Maple leaf.
Maple leaf. What's important about the maple leaf die?
The stem, because it's hard to cut.
The stem is hard to cut. And what kind of patch is it?
It's 3 by 3.
3 by 3 grid, but it makes an 8-inch block, which is super cool, okay? So when I turn it on point, look at that. I really like that. Then what size setting triangles am I gonna use, Miss Leslie?
The 8-inch.
8-inch, okay? So just, again, some really great bobs that are a favorite. Okay, this is one of my favorites. Do you know this one, Leslie?
Starry path.
Starry Path. She hesitated for a moment, but yes, indeed it is Starry Path. So what size block does it make? Do you know?
That one I don't know.
9-inch block. So this is 4 different colors. Okay, but look how cool that is. So you could totally change up the colorway. We have this great program at AccuQuilt.com called Go Quilt, where you can take our blocks and create new patterns. So just think about that, okay? All right, this is, Leslie?
Arkansas Traveler.
Arkansas Traveler. This is kind of a really fun block. It makes a nice big 12-inch block. And when I turn it on point, look how different it looks. That's the great thing, right, is that not only your cube blocks you can turn on point, but your bob blocks as well, okay? Here's one of my cube blocks that I used. I turned it on point. Looks completely different, okay? All right, and here's one of my last ones. This is one of our favorites. Leslie, which one is this, sweetie?
Cleopatra's Fan.
Cleopatra's Fan. The thing about this die that I really like is that it has notches all over the place. Every time we have a curve, don't be scared of curves. We have notches to help you sew these together. Also, we have videos to show you how to put our blocks together as well. This one is beautiful. And we have a pattern. What is it, Leslie, that table runner that we have?
Yes.
That we turn it on point? Yep. Yeah, so you only need 3 of these blocks to create that table runner. So that's super cool because then you could use your 12-inch and you'd have a whole big table runner in no time. Okay? So there's some samples of our bob dies. Quilters, we have a blog. Leslie, do you read our blog?
I do. I help edit the blog sometimes.
She does. And what is our blog?
Our blog is where you can get some more inspiration, some exclusive patterns that our go-getters write, and then learn all about the new product and like stuff that came out. So yesterday there was an awesome blog about the setting triangles.
There was. All right, so you can meet all of our go-getters, and you can actually register, right, to get notified of our blog, okay? So make sure you register so you get notifications. Don't forget, quilters, you're gonna take take 25% off your order. If it's more than $150, 10% additional off. So Leslie, if they were getting the Ready, Set, Go, the basket of lilies, and the 12-inch triangles, how much was that? Did we know?
So the Ready, Set, Go is $304.
Excellent.
And then the basket of lilies and setting triangles, since they're still the new kids on the, in the group, they're not eligible for the discount.
But what about that 12-inch cube?
The 12-inch cube would be $189.
$189. So think about that. So you're going to make all of these great 12-inch blocks. Make sure you have that 12-inch setting triangles, okay? Think about that. It's awesome. So that's our code today. It is LIVE25, LIVE25. All right, quilters. Leslie, did Morgan pick a winner for us?
Well,
okay, while she's doing that, we'll have Morgan pick a winner for us. And Leslie, we'll get a drum roll when you're ready.
She did. I just haven't gotten it yet.
Oh, they'll get there. They'll get there. Okay, so don't forget that promo, right? 25% off. So think about those bob dies that you want. Maybe you want to get that Cleopatra's Fan or that Starry Path. I do love Maple Leaf, okay? 25% off, spend more than $150, and we're going to give you 10% more off. All right? All right, while we wait for Leslie to, we're ready.
We're ready.
We get a drum roll, please.
It's Faith Holloway.
Faith Holloway, congratulations. Thanks for watching with us today. Hey, Morgan is going to reach out to you, and she's going to ask you what size setting triangles you want. We're going to send it to you free. All right, Miss Leslie, I think right there is our project for next week. Can you grab it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So next week, we're getting ready for Memorial Day and the 4th of July. Somewhere in there is my happy birthday. Thank you. We're going to show you how to make this really cute Go Patriotic tumbler wall hanging. Look at how fun this is. All right. We use that 5-inch tumbler or 4-inch tumbler, and it's going to be a great show. And look, it has bias binding because we went around the edge. I'm going to show you how to cut bias binding. We get that question all the time. All right, on behalf of our entire AccuQuilt team, so we have Nick upstairs and we have Morgan offsite. Here in the Dream Studio, we have Justin and Chelsea Graphics. We have Mike and Joe. We hope Christina's enjoying her PTO as Leslie was kind enough to join me here in the Dream Studio. I'm Pam Heller reminding you that at AccuQuilt we help you cut time so you can quilt more. Have a great day, quilters.